Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Basketball Conference, the ACC Football Podcast. My name's Joey Weaver. He's Mike McDaniel. Mike, week 12. It's getting late early. How you doing? You ready to preview some games?
Yeah, I made a comment in October that I thought the season overall had not been rushing by like it does in some years. I think some of that had to do with the double buys and stuff like that. Season started a little bit earlier this year too, right in August. We had week 0, which basically felt like it was in mid-August. As we get into November, I'm like, oh, shoot, we're almost back to the off-season again. But then I'm reminded that the national championship isn't played until almost February now. So we'll be fine. We'll hang in there.
Yeah, we got some time. This honestly, if you're not really having that much fun, this might never end at this rate. So
I agree. Welcome.
College football season forever, as we've always asked for. We are live, Mike, youtube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. It is a few minutes after 11 o'clock on the East Coast on Tuesday, November the 12th. We got a special Tuesday edition here. As the schedule, our personal schedules just needed a little bit of an adjustment here. Producer Scott not with us tonight, as you could have understood by a show we were going to be doing at 10:30, and now is at a few minutes after 11. So please stick with us as we work through any technical difficulties that are certainly going to come up. He should be back for our next episode. He just had something else going on tonight. No worries there. Mike, just as a reminder, we are aiming for 550 YouTube subscribers by the end of November. We are currently at 514. Shout out to all the people that have gotten us past that 500 mark this year. We really, really appreciate that. Please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. You'll find out when we're going to go live in the future. We would love to have you join us here in the chat. We've got a couple folks that had joined us already, but looking forward to having some more here, hopefully, in the next few minutes. We'll see.
We can do it, guys. Hit the subscribe button for us. We can do it. We can get to 550.
That's right. You can do that. Mike, anything else before we jump into our Rhoback look back at week 11?
We've made the people wait long enough on this live show. Let's get into it.
We sure have. Let's do that. The Rhoback look back at week 11. As a reminder, please use promo code GOACC20 at checkout for 20% off your first order at rhoback.com. They have some fantastic polos and hoodies and joggers and other athleisure. Great stuff. Rhoback.com and the game day collection for a number of different ACC schools as well.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of very comfortable clothes. I try to wear Rhoback at least a couple times a week. Got an expanding portfolio, if you will, of Rhoback golf polos that are perfect for video calls for work, and if you got a quick meeting you got to run out for, church, golf, you name it. It's the perfect attire, and it extends far beyond their golf polo line that I love so much. Got a couple of sweatshirts there, extremely comfortable, hoodies, and more. There's very comfortable golf stuff in general.
I played a golf tournament yesterday, and I was far, far, far from the only person there wearing a Rhoback shirt. I wasn't the only person in my foursome wearing a Rhoback shirt. So,
hell yeah.
That's, go find it. They're popular for a reason. They look great. They feel great. We love ours. You will love yours.
Yep, absolutely.
Mike, couple things here. This is, I don't know, kind of somewhat untraditional look back content.
Well, wait 1 minute. I hope you don't mind. You mentioned the thing about Scott not being here and technical difficulties. I got the banner going at the bottom
there
of the
it is.
video. There, so
go find
I just
it.
wanted to let you know. We got that going.
Again, inmates running the asylum, yada yada. You know the deal. A couple of things from week 11. This is more like a news story that broke earlier today on Tuesday. Bill O'Brien came out and officially announced that Grayson James is going to be the starting quarterback for Boston College this weekend. He took over for Thomas Castellanos in last weekend's game as they beat Syracuse. James wasn't incredible, but he was probably better than Castellanos in that game in particular. As a result, it seems like Thomas Castellanos has, quote, stepped away from the team in what's currently being labeled as at least a temporary measure, but Gonna be interesting to watch here, Mike. And I mean, Castellanos has had a tough year, and a guy that, especially last year, it seemed like a lot of the value that he brought to that offense was in running the ball and his mobility.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's been banged up and he's struggled there. I don't know if you've seen his stats on the year, averaging just a touch over 2 yards a carry, and that includes a pretty good game to start the year and a whole bunch of not very good ever since then, basically.
Yeah, and he's only averaging about 176 odd yards through the air or something along those lines. It just hasn't been fantastic. And Castellanos is a little bit undersized, and we've talked about on this podcast before. If you're going to run him the way that he was run last year and how he was run the early part of this year, he's not going to hold up. And he's been banged up a good bit, as you know. Mm-hmm. And I am not shocked to see Boston College make a change at quarterback, but if you're Bill O'Brien, you got to be absolutely sure that like Castellanos is not going to be your guy next year, because with eligibility remaining and obviously burned through a year this year, and if you make this move this late in the year, when the team has a winning record and you have an opportunity to go to a bowl game, when you're giving up on your starting quarterback this late in the year, it's a pretty obvious signal you're going to move on. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty clearly what they're going to be doing here. Castellanos will be in the portal. I don't think there's really much of a chance that he sticks around. Grayson James is going to be a starter the rest of the year, barring injury, right? I mean, we're too late into the year to kind of turn back to Castellanos now. That would be a pretty big surprise, barring injury. And Castellanos is now away from the team anyway, which I think tells you everything you need to know, right? If a guy gets benched and has intentions on sticking it out and playing through the rest of the year, we're so late in the season, he would just stay. But at this point, I think he's like, look, I'm just going to put my name in the portal. And he hasn't done that officially yet, but I'd expect that news to come sooner rather than later.
I was going to say that this is speculation at this point, but
right,
we've seen this script play out before with other players like this. So wouldn't be stunned, to say the least, if that were to happen.
Yeah, and O'Brien in his press conference was like, yeah, I mean, Castellanos, he stepped away from the team for now. We love him and we appreciate everything he's done. And, we'll give you an update on him when we have one.
Yep.
Like, sounds good. We'll wait till we see his name pop up in the portal.
I'll hold my breath waiting for him to show back up at Boston College practices. Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? I will say, you mentioned he has eligibility left, and at this point, I don't really understand what eligibility counts and doesn't count, and it seems like anybody can get an extra year or two. Maybe you just got to sue the NCAA. So on some level, we've said this for years. Eligibility is kind of fake. It's just not real. Everyone just exploits it and they do whatever they want. But he did play 5 games as a freshman at UCF. He now has basically been the starter for 2 years at Boston College. So does he have 1 year left, 2 years left, 5 years left? I'm not really sure, but that eligibility in theory is maybe only 2 years, and I'd have to go back and look and see. Was a bowl game? Goodness, was a bowl game involved at UCF or something that doesn't really count towards that? Hard to say, but in any case, yeah, he has some eligibility left, so I'm sure Mike Norvell is licking his chops right now. But
I relax.
He doesn't look anything like Jordan Travis to you?
Jordan Trapp's a little bit bigger in Castellanos. I know it wasn't real big, but he's bigger in Castellanos. I mean, come on, yeah. What are we doing?
True.
Better arm for sure than Castellanos.
Yes, yeah, I'll give him that for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing that I saw this week, Mike, something we had to follow up on. So in that game, Boston College beat Syracuse. Coming out of that, Boston College is replacing their quarterback, which
I don't want to do this. We're going to do this. I don't want. Are we going? We have to do this. We have to do this. I think.
I added this on at the very last second to make sure you couldn't really say no.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Appreciate it. Didn't have time to veto. Not that I would.
Boston College, in response to the win, has changed starting quarterbacks. Syracuse, in response to the win, has a head coach who has decided not to take showers. Did you see this?
I did, unfortunately. He basically said that only winners deserve showers or something like that, and losers shouldn't shower, and he doesn't sleep in the same bed as his wife when Syracuse loses because he doesn't deserve to shower, and his wife doesn't want to sleep with him when he's dirty, which is like not exactly what he said, but it was like along those lines. And it was one of the strangest, we've seen some strange press conferences. This one made no sense. And first of all, I don't believe him. Second of all, even if he did do this, just what? Just take a shower, man. What are we doing?
Don't press in.
Yeah.
Don't press in. Yeah. Brush your teeth too while we're at it. Come on.
I just, my main response here is I just want to remind you, Mike, that there were some Syracuse fans that came at me saying I'm a jerk, I'm a bad guy a few weeks ago when I said Fran Brown's kind of a weirdo. This is definitively weirdo behavior. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there is like terminal coach speak brain, which I think is Jeff Collins. Like he could not operate in any way other than just speaking in coach speak and trying to say as little as possible and all this stuff. I don't think if you got him behind closed doors that he actually had, no idea how the world works or like what's actually going on. I think he just basically said a bunch of nonsense and it was hoping that people would just take that and be okay with it. This does not feel like Fran Brown is just saying nonsense to like distract the like this has happened a few times with him. He got all mad a couple weeks ago because Virginia Tech had a kicker come out to, or who was it? Virginia Tech or who was it? Somebody had a kicker come out to warm up.
It was Virginia Tech
during the halftime show and like disrupted part of the marching band. And he came out afterwards taking like personal offense to this. At some point, read the room, man. You don't have to do this stuff. And so I don't know if this is like trying to be hyperbolic and trying to distract the media away from his team or something like that. Or if this is, I'm trying to prove that I'm just a tough guy or like I really care that much. I don't know what it is. It's weirdo behavior. That's all I'm saying.
Wilk Furby brings up a good point, and I do remember this happening. Going off the deep end while coaching Syracuse is not new. In 2014, Scott Schaefer went on a rant about ISIS chopping people's heads off. First of all, Scott Schaefer, holy throwback. holy throwback. Second of all, I unfortunately do remember that. And that was something. Go ACC. But the thing about Fran Brown like distracting from his team losing a game, like he didn't have to really do this. Like it's year one. First of all, he's coaching at Syracuse. Second of all, Syracuse fans gonna be real mad about that. Second of all, it's year one at Syracuse, and they're already a better product than they were the last few years in particular. Mm-hmm. Like it's going fine. Like this team is fine. Like they're in that like middle of the ACC where we're like, yeah, they're probably not that good, but they're also like not that bad. They're in that group, which is a fine place to be. Yeah. Year one at Syracuse of all places. He's coaching fine. He's recruiting fine. There's nothing to like distract from, yet it seems like he's trying to make everything about stuff that's not important.
Right.
In press conferences. And again, none of this really matters, as long as they go out and win games and they're competing, all that stuff. But very weird. Very odd. Is what
Extremely.
I'll say. Odd.
Extremely. We'll see if this keeps up. Like you said, this is year one, and I mean, this is all the data points that we have, and maybe it gets more normal from here. But that's best I got. Anything else on week 11, Mike, that we forgot to bring up on our hour and 40-minute recap there Saturday night?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think we're good.
I think so too. I think we hit most, if not all of it. So let's move on to week 12, where we have 6 games on the slate. Let's take one last look at our locks from last week. We had a triple barrel lock between you, myself, and Cam Underwood, who joined us. We all had over 63.5 in the Miami-Georgia Tech game. That did not come in. We all had Notre Dame minus 26.5 against Florida State. That did come in. So we went 1-1. We did officially break the streak on triple barrel locks. I think that was like a 6-game losing streak, something like that.
It wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't good. I'll tell you that.
Not great. You also hit NC State Duke under 52.5. Cam had Clemson minus 6.5. And Scott's producer's pick of the week was NC State Duke under 52.5 as well. So not a bad week. I was 1-1. You were 2-1. Cam 2-1, and Scott hit his producer's pick of the week. So we've had worse weeks on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean we do the whole O for thing sometimes. We haven't done that recently, so that's good.
Not last week, that's for sure.
Not, well, yeah, with the exception of that.
Yeah. That leaves me 11-13 on the year on locks. You are 15-12. Scott 2-1 on producers picks of the week, and Cam had a nice 2-1 week. So shout out to the people. We'll see if you were fading us, tailing us. Either way, we'll try and make you some more money here as we go this week. As mentioned, Mike, 6 games this week. There is a Notre Dame game in there, which means that we have 6 teams on bye. That would be Georgia Tech, Miami, Florida State, Duke, Virginia Tech, and NC State, all on byes this week. All of our games, Saturday, November the 9th. No. Saturday, November the 16th. Excuse me. Got to remember all the different parts of the sheet I got to update.
Good job.
Saturday, November the 16th. As a reminder to the people as we get into these, use hashtag GoACCMOTW to submit award nominations on Twitter or on email as you watch these games. You know what? If you come in, you watch these recaps Saturday night, join us in the chat. I might even invite you to drop them in there. Drop your recommendations, anything you got, help us out. We can't have our eyes on all these games all at the same time. So please, as you watch these games and you see something that you think qualifies, Go ACC Member of the Week, Brian Van Gorder Memorial You Tried Award, Kobe Bryant Memorial Volume Shooter of the Week, any of those things, hit us up. YouTube.com/@the-ACC Football Podcast. Leave a comment. Send us a tweet, an email, whatever you got. We'd appreciate that.
In particular, the noon window.
Definitely.
For me, anyway. I tried to catch up on those while I'm working, but in particular, the noon window, we almost never get eyes on it, just parental duties.
Yeah, definitely tough to get, what's the word I'm looking for?
Live eyes on the noon window.
Uninterrupted eyes or dedicated eyes on the noon window. Yeah, those kinds of things. So that would be very, very helpful for us. Mike, let's start in the noon window at noon on ESPN right off the back of College Game Day. The number 20 Clemson Tigers on the road taking on the Pitt Panthers, newly unranked Pitt Panthers. Clemson, a 10-point favorite on the road here, totals 54.5. And by the way, Mike, Clemson being a 10-point favorite, you know what that makes Pittsburgh?
They are the home field home dog of the week, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Use the promo code GOACC24 at checkout, 15% off your first order at homefieldapparel.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a great partnership with Homefield. Can't say enough really good things about them and all the opportunities they give us and the money they pay us, let's be honest. And a lot of that has to do with all of you buying stuff, which we really appreciate. So continue to do that. Use promo code GOACC24 at checkout at homefieldapparel.com. Officially licensed, comfortable, collegiate apparel. I own a bunch of it. You own a bunch of it. Can't say enough good things about the gang at Homefield Apparel. So thanks to them for their sponsorship support of the show.
Yeah, for sure. They do a great job. I don't know. I mean, part of me just wants to keep fading Pitt here. And we say that they no-showed against SMU. Some of me wonders, was that 100% no-show? Or did we, in the moment, think that they were going to show out better? Still got my cough. It's great.
Yeah, going on about a month now.
Yeah. Was that a true, proper no-show? Or was some of that also that they just aren't as good as we kind of maybe thought that they were up until that point? And then we saw, again, they lose last week. Eli Holstein, do we know, is he playing in this game? What's his status? Because he left with an injury last week. Looking into that, we'll see.
I'll look into it right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's also Tuesday, so low chance that Pat Narduzzi has committed one way or the other on that.
Yeah, we're recording early this week.
Man, even if Holstein plays, and even though you're at home, I don't know, man. I feel like the way this Clemson defense has played, I feel like Clemson's going to be able to control this game. 10 points, a lot to lay on the road here, but Clemson, I mean, whatever hope that they're holding on to, trying to make the playoff at this point in the year, I mean, it's go time. You can't really afford to be having any slip-ups. I'm leaning towards laying them with Clemson here, Mike.
Quick note on Holstein. Narduzzi was asked on Monday about his status because it was a head injury for Holstein. Quote, everybody is playing Saturday except Branson Taylor. He won't see Branson. And then the follow-up was, will Holstein be playing against Clemson? The answer was, it depends on what our athletic trainer tells me. Our doctors make all those decisions. I wish I could tell you that job is to coach football. Medical trainer's job is to let me know who could play.
It's a Narduzzi-ass response right there.
Let's just read between the lines here. Holstein's in the concussion protocol, so we'll see. Yeah. Look, Holstein's in the concussion protocol. He's either going to be cleared by Saturday or he won't be. That's what's going on there, okay? So if he's cleared, he'll play. If he's not, he won't. We're recording on Tuesday, which is earlier than usual. As we sit here recording, Clemson's a 10-point favorite. I'm not sure if that factors into Holstein playing or not. I am I'm taking the points of Pitt.
Really?
And let me tell you why. Because Pittsburgh comes into this game, Joey, they're 20th nationally against the run. Everything that Clemson has done in their offense this year, all the success they've had when they've been throwing the football, everything's been predicated off of getting Phil Mafah going. Mm-hmm. And Virginia Tech, I thought, did a pretty good job last Saturday of keeping Phil Mafah in check for the most part. And that Clemson passing offense really took a while to come around. I mean, the dam eventually broke, and Klubnik made some throws in the second half that obviously made the difference in the football game. But when Clemson's offense has really struggled this year, the couple times that it has, it's really been because they haven't been able to establish the run. And Mafah's numbers were decent against Virginia Tech eventually, but it took a while to get him going. Pitt is a little bit better against the run than Virginia Tech is. I think that they are going to give Clemson some problems here up front against the run. I think Klubnik's going to have to make some throws in this game. Plus, you have the whole Nooner at Pitt thing, which is important to note. Like, early game, sleepy start. I'm concerned about Pittsburgh's quarterback status. Obviously, I think they have a much better chance to compete and win the game if Eli Holstein's playing versus Nate Yarnell. But I do think that Pittsburgh can do enough defensively here. Good against the run. They've been okay against the pass. Hasn't been terrible. This isn't like the best Narduzzi secondary we've ever seen, but hasn't been awful. But they've been particularly good against the run this year, and Clemson really likes to try to establish that to open up the passing game for Klubnik, make it a little bit easier on him. Quarterback run game is going to be really important here. How much are they going to run Klubnik in this game is a question I have going into this. But yeah, we're in the middle of a tough stretch for Clemson. I think this one's flying under the radar a little bit because Pittsburgh has not played well the last 2 weeks. But I think Pittsburgh does have an okay team, right? Like I don't think they were as bad as they showed against SMU. And I think they were really just a couple plays away last week against UVA, and Holstein going out of the game obviously made a difference. So, yeah, give me Pitt plus 10. I think they're competitive here. I think Clemson wins a close game. But yeah, give me Pitt in the points at home to make this interesting. If Holstein plays, wouldn't shock me.
Yeah,
if they pulled this off, wouldn't shock me.
That's reasonable. It's a really good point about the matchup that I hadn't really considered that level of depth, but it's a good point. And I do wonder, but there's another piece of me that wonders, maybe Holstein plays, let's say that he doesn't, especially. How many points does Clemson have to score here to cover 10? Like if they get to like 24,
27. Okay. Yeah. All right. We're in the ballpark.
Like is a Nate Yarnell Pitt offense scoring 14 against Clemson in that defense? I don't know, man. And that's where you start opening yourself up to the possibility of a defensive score in here, or certainly short fields creating an easy score for Clemson's offense. I just think there's a lot of I have lost a lot of confidence in Pitt's offense the last couple of games that they've played, and really the last few games that they've played, even the ones that they've won, that offense has not looked the same. And when you start combining that with the possibility of Eli Holstein maybe not playing, I don't think Clemson has to score almost anything to cover 10 here. Like they might. There's a non-zero chance that we're on shutout watch here. Like Clemson could do that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Too far?
Too far? All that. I don't know about all that. I mean, Virginia Tech played like the hospital offense last week and still scored a little bit. Not a lot of offense, but a little bit. It was 7 points. That offense scored 7. Pitt can score 7.
It scored 7, in the fourth quarter?
It took a while.
Yeah.
That had more to do with Virginia Tech's offense, I think, and Clemson's defense,
Yeah. I'm just going to roll with Clemson here, and I there's a decent shot that I'm going to feel dumb for it, and Pitt gives them a game. Hell,
yeah.
Can you imagine Pitt beating a ranked Clemson team late in the year?
Who could see that coming?
Has that ever happened in the history of this show, or in the first year of this show? That was a fun one. But
Pitt,
I think
Pitt, by the way, they never beat ranked teams late in the year.
Right.
Hi, Cam.
Someone said something one time about the Pitt super weapon. Have they fired that yet this year?
The super weapon's Nate Yarnell. We'll see him on Saturday. We just didn't know it yet.
He's just been charging up in recent weeks. There you go. I think for my pick 2, by the way, I'm going to take the under here, and we'll see. I might come back and lock that up, honestly, because I think from a game script standpoint, again, I'm banking on Clemson keeping Pitt off the board here, and we can see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, that's fine. Hey, Joey, can you do something for me? I don't have anything else in this game. I'm staying off the total.
I'm good.
Else on this game. Okay, cool. Can we hit the Falcon sound real quick? Buddy, I got some good Tuesday night news for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we have a banner prepared for it, so I won't bring one up. Bowling Green 31, Western Michigan 13. That's a final score, Joey. Bowling Green is 6-4 with 2 games to go. I need 1 win to cash that over ticket. 1 victory and they still got Ball State on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
In 11 days. I feeling good.
Which I would say that Ball State is basically a free square here, except I don't know if free squares truly exist in the MAC. So, I mean,
I agree.
Not because nobody's actually bad, but because nobody's actually good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sikor, Bowling Green palindromed them. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. I didn't watch mid of it, but yeah, they did. Harold Fannin, Bowling Green's excellent tight end. You would have thought that Western Michigan would actually cover him. He had 10 for 137 and 2 touchdowns. So yeah, might want to cover the All-American tight end from the MAC. You might want to cover that guy. They did not.
As with Xavier Restrepo and a couple of other guys like that, there's only one guy you have to cover. Okay, and it just seems like nobody wants to cover him. It's so
mesmerizing.
Shout out to Harold Fannin.
Yeah,
getting Mike his over ticket cashed.
Beautiful.
Let's move into the afternoon, 3:00 on the CW. The Syracuse Orange on the road in Berkeley taking on the Cal Golden Bears. Cal's an 8.5-point favorite. Totals 55.5. 8.5 points for Cal against decent Syracuse team. Am I missing something here, Mike? Like what? Where did this number come from?
I don't know. Is this an overreaction to the Syracuse loss last Saturday,
or the Cal win against
or the
Wake?
right, or I guess on the other side, the Cal win?
I kind of it kind of has to be, unless again this is like a Vegas knows something situation. I mean,
yeah,
saying that Cal gets like 2.5 points for home field might be pushing it. So you're telling me Cal by hell give it 2.5 for also travel factor. You're telling me Cal by 6 on a neutral field over Syracuse? Really?
It will be no surprise to you that I have a lock for this game, Joey.
Uh-oh.
But it's probably not what you think. Under 55.5. Let's lock it up.
Lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
I like it. Keep going.
All right, two questions for you. I think you'll be able to answer both. If Cal is laying 8.5 with that offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm on Syracuse plus 8.5. By the way, so we'll get that out of the way. But let's just play this out. If Cal is laying 8.5, how many points they scoring?
I mean,
with that offense, how many points they scoring?
this is like the most fits and startsy offense in the conference. I mean,
agree.
I don't know.
Now, just chew on that for a second. The second part.
One.
The second thing is that I can see a path for Cal to cover if Syracuse simply cannot stop the Cal rushing attack, which, by the way, Syracuse's rushing defense.
Cal's rushing offense.
Outside of Ott, been okay. Outside of Ott.
Maybe.
Get a little Mendoza run game going. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I could see it. I'm on the under 55.5. Two reasons. One, obviously Cal's offense. If they're laying 8.5, how many are they actually scoring here, right? Because Syracuse's defense, not phenomenal, not absolutely ass either. They're okay. They have an okay defense. And Cal's offense, okay at best.
Yeah.
Don't know how many points Cal is scoring. On the flip side, Cal's defense, good. Like, good defense.
Yeah.
And I think the only way we're getting to an over is if Kyle McCord strokes out again and has like a 5 interception game, and not even that, just like gifts Cal a few short fields, which, you know, to Cal's credit, they've taken advantage of short fields this year. When the defense is giving it to them, they've done a pretty good job in the red zone. I just think that McCord will be okay here. You know, maybe he makes a mistake or two. I think Syracuse will largely be okay offensively. And Cal's defense, though, while good, I don't know if it's going to be like short field turnover stuff. I mean, that's always a path to an over in a game like this, but I just don't see. I don't see the path. 55.5 is a lot of points. I don't see the path here with two mediocre offenses and Cal's above average defense. And the way these two teams like to run the ball too, there's some like game script stuff here as well, where, you know, Syracuse hasn't leaned on the run a ton, but when they have, it's been effective in spots. And can they establish the run here, or is this going to be McCord air raid, right? But Cal's been trying to do the whole Mendoza run game thing, and they've been trying to find ways. Javion Thomas, like in the running game, they've been trying to find ways to push that on the ground. And I think that you take game script into account, you take Cal's mid passing offense into account, you take, you know, Syracuse's offense going against Cal's defense. I think this is a recipe for an under, as long as we don't get a bunch of short field turnovers.
I'm with you. I think probably my favorite thing here is the under. I'm not sold on locking it up just yet. Going to kind of feel that out as we go through the night. But to me, the best thing in this game, as you kind of alluded to here, is got to be the Cal defense. And there's a piece of me that wonders, with some of the stuff that we've seen from Kyle McCord in recent weeks, can that Cal defense, can they confuse him, get him seeing ghosts, maybe create a couple short fields on turnovers, like that kind of thing could be in play for sure. I really don't think that either of these teams has been consistently good at running the ball this year. And I mean, Cal has a couple games where they've the numbers have looked okay, but they're really boosted by one or two long runs here or there. I mean, I look at the NC State game and they had 29 for 117, but almost half of that yardage was on one run by Javian Thomas, right? And the other 28 plays went for about 65 yards. And so they have not consistently run the ball. It seems like it's been kind of feast or famine on big plays in the passing game. Everything here, again, Syracuse, which team is going to come out? We've seen multiple versions of this team all year, and we've got a sound effect for that. I won't ruin it with the people right now because I think they know which one I'm talking about, but I mean, who the hell knows? So I guess a game where the spread's outside of a touchdown here, I think I'm with you. Give me Syracuse plus the points to at least keep this to a touchdown or less. That is a lot of points for a Cal offense that's been as inconsistent as they've been to be laying that many points. But I'm with you. I think my favorite thing here is probably the under, that both of these defenses are plenty equipped to keep these offenses in check. And at that point, you're hoping for avoiding cheap points, defensive scores, special team scores, short fields, that kind of thing being created by turnovers, etc. So I got nothing else on this unless you do.
No, this is a weird one. This has
Very
potential to go. This has the potential to go sideways.
For what it's worth, Syracuse has played the other California team in the conference and lost at home in week 3, I think.
Feels good. They'd like to have that one back.
What is this? I don't understand the Syracuse program right now.
No,
sometimes we're good. Sometimes we're something else. Sometimes our coach doesn't wash himself. I don't know what.
Sometimes our coach smells like shit.
His wife doesn't let him in bed with her. What are we doing here? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Man.
All right, Syracuse with the points for the both of us. Under for the both of us. Mike, you have the under locked up.
I do.
This game on the CW brought to you by Section103.com. Promo code GOACC for 10% off your first order. All the Georgia Tech fans in your life, they need something from Section103.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, something for men, women, children, something for the whole family. I've got this sweet hoodie on right now. It is super comfy, looks great. A lot of people trying to look like Coach Key coming off that win last weekend against Miami. They've got the sweet Coach hoodie. This one, they've also got a short sleeve hoodie that he's seen run around the sidelines quite a bit in. Go check it all out. Once again, Section 103 for and promo code GOACC for 10% off your first order. NIL shirts, Haynes King, he played a hell of a game. Eric Singleton had a hell of a game. Zach Pyron, we're getting into basketball season. They got shirts for that. All sorts of good stuff. Once again, go to section103.com. Use promo code GOACC for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Steven and the gang. Appreciate their support as always.
The apparel store for the people in the Georgia Tech fan base.
By the people, for the people. That's absolutely right. Go check them out. Let's keep going here, Mike. 3:30 on NBC. The Virginia Cavaliers on the road in South Bend, taking on the number 8 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Virginia, a 23-point home away road dog.
Wow, stroke.
Virginia's a 23-point underdog on the road. Totals 50.5. Mike, I'm thinking about just not overcomplicating this at all. And
we're doing this again. We're going to do it again.
Yeah. Notre Dame, look, we're getting there where Notre Dame has realized that there's minimal margin here. You're in November. You're trying to make the playoff. You don't have a conference championship available to win, to get you in, that kind of thing. They are rolling right now, Mike. And as I have said numerous times over the years on this podcast, I really try not to get in the way of the train. And I really don't think that Virginia is the unstoppable force or the immovable object that is going to block this train that is Notre Dame. Give me the Irish, Mike, and let's go ahead and lock that up.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
It's nothing against Virginia. Honestly, it's just this Notre Dame team's playing really, really well right now, and it's going to take more than what Virginia has to get in the way of that.
2 words for you.
Double barrel?
That's correct. Lock it up.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
We've been doing this show for too long. I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Virginia trying to stop this Notre Dame rushing offense should give you a lot of anxiety if you're a Virginia fan. And then on the other side, Calandria against this defense, Virginia's offensive line going up against this Notre Dame front. They gave up a metric shit ton of sacks to North Carolina's front. Buddy, I don't like this matchup at all for Virginia, man. NDS 133 over under double-digit sacks for ND in this game. If Carolina can do it, yeah. If you're serious, I would say under, only because I think Virginia is going to try to just like run it and get out of there without getting their quarterback really hurt.
Yeah.
This is not this is not good, man. This is not a good spot for UVA. Now, it would be really funny if UVA went in and pulled this off in South Bend. That would be pretty funny. That could be something that
would be
if I were Marcus Freeman, man, I would advise that he does not do that.
Yeah.
That's probably a bad idea if I'm Marcus Freeman.
I don't know that that's a fireable offense. I mean, you'd still be on pace for a 10-2, potential playoff berth, all that. But whoo, buddy. If those two are to Northern Illinois and Virginia, that is a tough look.
You've lost to Marshall at home. You've lost to bad Stanford at home. Northern Illinois. Yeah. Yeah, man. Can't be losing the Conference USA teams and MAC teams and Sun Belt teams, and you can't be doing that kind of stuff.
No, you cannot. No. You cannot. Am I weird for kind of liking the over here?
No. I mean, there's a small chance Notre Dame gets there by themselves. I mean, they didn't even play well offensively in the first half last week against Florida State, and Florida State might have a better defense than Virginia. And Notre Dame hung 52 on them. And I know some of that was they had a defensive score and stuff like that, but it was 52-3, and Notre Dame's offense didn't even really play well in the first half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm on the over because I think Virginia might score a couple times here, and I think Notre Dame can get into the 40s. I'm liking the over.
It's kind of where I'm at. Is that I don't know that Notre Dame is necessarily going to get there by themselves, but I think there are multiple paths that you could get there, and I mean, especially if Virginia were to find a way to score like 17 points, like this is, I think this cruises over. So I like that.
Yeah. Could you see like 42-17?
Yeah. Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Or,
get you a solid touchdown past that number. So there you go.
Yeah. The problem with that though is I could also see like 35-14. And
right.
we lose on a few fronts.
Exactly.
I could see that too. But
I think it's worth. I personally think it's worth the risk with Notre Dame laying this number, which is a friggin' huge number to be placing hard-earned currency on. But either way, that's the thing I like the most here is the possibility that Notre Dame just completely snuffs out whatever Virginia's trying to do on offense. And continues to look like a legitimate playoff team as they have for a month now. So
yeah,
who knows? Time will tell. Notre Dame locked up for the both of us, and we both have the over 50.5.
Yeah, Notre Dame's looking like a team that could win 1 or 2 in the bracket if it falls right. We'll see. Passing offense is a work in progress, but
I was going to say. matchup dependent. But yeah, like they definitely have the horses on defense for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just a question of offensively, how do they match up with whoever they're playing? So we will see. 3:30 on ESPN, the Boston College Eagles on the road in Dallas, taking on the number 14 SMU Mustangs. SMU a 17.5-point favorite here at home, totals 53.5. We mentioned before the Grayson James thing. He'll be starting at quarterback for Boston College. See how that goes. I just wanted to point out this is a rematch of the 2023 Fenway Bowl. The welcome to the ACC that SMU got there, where they lost at Fenway Park to Boston College. Mike, is it weird to you that SMU lost this game less than 12 months ago, now favored by 3 scores?
No, because I think they're better in Boston College. There's a chance they might be worse. So, nope.
I don't think there's a chance that Boston College might be worse. I think Boston College is almost definitely worse.
Point being, it's also not a bowl game, so we're going to pretend to care a little bit more.
And it's in Dallas and not like a snowy baseball stadium.
Yes, in December. Go ACC. Yeah. This is, man, a big number. I am laying it with SMU.
Yeah.
I mean, I coming off a bye, and I lay them.
I'm the number one SMU hater on this podcast, as everyone knows.
You are.
I'm SMU truther. I don't think that they're any good at all. I don't think they should be ranked. I don't think they should qualify for the ACC championship game. I think they're really, really bad. I'm tempted to lock up SMU in this spot, honestly.
I know. Me too. I hate it, but I think that might be a path I travel with you, Joey.
I'm not going to do it because this is a lot of points, and SMU has had a couple of somewhat uneven performances lately, to where that's a lot of trust to put in them. And is there a chance that Boston College changes quarterbacks and all of a sudden something kind of catches in a way that it hadn't so far? And we'd asked the question, right, coming into the year, how is Thomas Castellanos going to mesh with Bill O'Brien and what he wants to do on offense? And like maybe that all kind of sorts itself out here this week. So there's enough unknown for such a large number that I'm not going to lock it up. I'm just saying I'm tempted. And if gun to my head, if I had to do something here, I don't know, it's either SMU, maybe the over, even like 53.5. I could see this getting a little bit pointsy.
I'm not going to lock it up only because there's something else I like a little bit more later.
Uh-oh.
So I think I might. I've not had a 4 lock pod yet this year, though. I must say.
I don't think you have.
I have gotten a little degenerate with my picks before, so I don't know. I'll hold on to it for now. SMU my 17.5 though is my pick, and
yeah,
SMU's defense is playing pretty well, and the offense has been rolling, and they're coming off a bye. BC's got a lot of questions. Big win for BC last week, but yeah, man, SMU can't slow down now. You're going to make it to Charlotte if you win out.
That's right. If you win out, if you can beat Boston College, and if you can, how am I doing with this promo business, Mike? I feel like I got some work to do.
I'll let you know tomorrow morning around like 8:30, 9 o'clock when we check out the comments and see what is filtered in overnight.
We'll see who can pick up on the jokes here and who is taking it all super seriously. We'll find out. How about that?
There's one particular username I'm familiar with in the comments who is going to really miscalculate what you're doing. Is the best way I could put it.
Yeah, that's almost certain to happen. So
yeah,
looking forward to that. Yeah, I'll stick with SMU here. I don't think I'm going to lock it up. I think there's just, again, there's a couple variables in play. Part of me wonders, by the way, just while I'm thinking about it, how does the rest of the Boston College locker room feel about going to Grayson James over Thomas Castellanos? And I don't know the answer to that. I'm just posing another hypothetical question where this is the kind of thing where there's some team chemistry involved when you change quarterbacks like this. Like if you don't have the support of the locker room, that can backfire on you for sure. Or if you do, maybe you get an extra bump from that. I mean, who knows? But something else to consider.
Is this like the Chicago Bears locker room reportedly having some players vouch for one Tyson Bagent over number 1 pick Caleb Williams on an offense that just fired its offensive coordinator? Could that be a parallel we draw here with a recently graduated Heisman Trophy winner from USC? Is that something we can apply?
I'm just saying that you're down really bad if you're being compared to the current Chicago Bears offense. Like that's
if you're vouching for Tyson Bagent to come in and play, that's all I can say. Grayson James probably better than Tyson Bagent. So
Boston College's backup better than a guy getting an NFL salary. There you go. I mean,
could Boston College? They could beat the Chicago Bears. Yeah.
At this point,
I love when people do that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, SMU for the both of us, and we're leaving that alone from a locks standpoint.
Yep.
Couple more here. 3:30 on the ACC Network. The number 19 Louisville Cardinals on the road in Palo Alto, taking on the Stanford Cardinal. Louisville a 20-point favorite on the road. Totals 58.5. Louisville is a lot better than Stanford. Like it's not close, honestly. And Stanford has been a mess, and they've gotten worse. Give me the points with Stanford.
Yep, agree. I hate that I agree with you.
This is so many points. And by the way, like as good as Louisville has been and can be, they're not always that focused, Mike. Like they will screw around. They will waste drives. They will turn the ball over. They will this is a lot of points to trust a team going across the country to cover. So give me the Stanford the points. This is, I don't know, 38-27, something like, closer than it needs to be. But I do think Louisville wins the game and kind of keeps trucking for what that's worth.
I'm going to point out 2 road results for you for Louisville that I think is informing this plus 20 pick on my side for Stanford.
This is a good point, by the way, that Louisville has not been all that good on the road.
So, and by not really all that good on the road, they are 3-1, but it hasn't looked all that impressive. Obviously, the Clemson win, the most impressive, and that was their most recent performance. They were off last week. Louisville's 2 road games before Clemson, at Virginia, which you'll remember was a 24-20 slog of a win. They were pretty fortunate to win that game.
They scored in the final 2 minutes to win that game.
Correct. And then at Boston College, 31-27, probably pretty fortunate to win that game as well, Joey. Those are 2 road results against teams that are better than Stanford, but in the same ballpark, right? Because there are 2 other road games on Louisville's schedule that they played, right? At Clemson, at Notre Dame. I think 2 different opponents than Boston College and UVA. So if we're comparing kind of the road games they played this year, Stanford is more like Boston College or UVA, obviously, than like Notre Dame or Clemson. I think, point being, I'm trying to draw a parallel between Louisville playing down to mediocre to bad opponents on the road. And I think Louisville is going to win this game comfortably, but by like 17 or something. 20 seems like a lot, and maybe we go back, we regret this later, and Louisville just happens to be rolling at the right time of the year, right? They're coming off a Clemson win, coming off a bye. Maybe they just get it rolling here the last 3 games, and they're real focused. And, at Stanford, home against Pitt, at Kentucky to finish things out. There's still some stuff to play for, good bowl game, stuff like that. Yeah, just keep an eye on this one. Stanford's not going to compete here, but I could see Louisville playing down to Stanford and having this being like a really ugly, never in doubt, like 14-point win or something. That would not surprise me at all. And as a result, I am not touching the game total either, because I don't know what Louisville team's going to show up.
Yeah,
I'm pretty certain Stanford is they're going to show up and like play hard, but they're just not very good. So I'm not touching the total, but I do like Stanford plus 20 here.
This is probably the point where we should probably mention that we've got 6 ACC games this weekend that we're talking about. The smallest spread in all of them is 8.5 points.
Yeah.
Like all these are
previewed.
Yeah, basically all these are double-digit spread kind of games, and that is a hell of a lot of points to be laying and trusting teams with in a league like this that is such a jumbled mess on a week-to-week basis of what are you or aren't you. And the other thing, Louisville number 19 right now in the rankings. Does Louisville week to week, what you have seen with your eyes, Mike, do they look like a consistent top 20 team to you?
No.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No.
Not to me either. And I mean, do they have that potential? Maybe, but again, there's a lot of lost focus and just dumb stuff that happens in their games that this is just a lot to trust them with. So I'm with you. Give me Stanford in the points. I think Louisville wins, but I think Stanford finds a way to keep it close at home all the way across the country.
Yeah. Yep. With you.
So, leave the total alone. Just I don't need to actually like wager on this or lock anything up. It's all fine. Just watch and enjoy.
Yes. Or don't. That's fine too.
Or don't. Last one, ACC Network, 8 o'clock. The Wake Forest Steamin' Deeks on the road all the way over in Chapel Hill, taking on their rival North Carolina Tar Heels. I think this one's a conference game, right? Proper conference game?
I think so.
We're not doing the non-conference Wake UNC game like we have for like 5 years now or whatever.
I'm double checking.
Okay, fair enough. North Carolina is an 11.5 point favorite at home. Total is 63.5. Mike, you said you were showing some restraint earlier on not locking something up because you liked something else later. First of all, I suspect it's here because A, we're out of games, but B, right. I have a feeling that you might like the same thing that I really like here.
Carolina. I can't believe we've come a long way with Carolina, haven't we? We've come a long way.
Yeah.
I
don't love it. I don't love it, but I can't deny it.
It brings Joey no pleasure to report that North Carolina will be making a bowl game. Brings him no pleasure. And the reason why I can say that with such confidence, Joey, is because we are locking up North Carolina, the Tar Heels, minus 11.5.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
Thanks. I hate it.
Yeah. Had to be done. Somebody had to do it. It was me.
Yep. Well, what's funny here, Mike, is in fact, I will be on the Wake Forest team. No, just kidding. I'm on North Carolina minus 11.5. Lock it up.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
In the heel turn of all heel turns. Joey takes the Steamin' Deeks now.
We were so close, Mike. I was so close to being right about my 5-7 prediction, and Carolina's going to miss a bowl game and the whole thing. And trust me, they went through the wilderness there for a little bit this season. But some combo of like they have kind of figured it out, and their schedule has also kind of completely fallen off a cliff. That sure enough, Carolina's probably going to find their way to win like 7 games this year, and. Yeah,
I think they could win. I think they could certainly win the final 3, which would put them at 8-4. And they're really going to be upset at the fact that they were leading Duke by 3 touchdowns earlier this year and found a way to blow that. They are not that far away in that scenario from going 9-3, which would beg the question, Joey, if this season ends at 8-4, is this the worst 8-4 team in the country?
There it
is.
That's
the question. Somebody's got to ask, and that person is me.
I was going to say, I was hoping that we were once again on the same page on that because let's just play that scenario out, Mike. North Carolina, 8-4. What is North Carolina's best win of those 8? I think it has to probably be at Minnesota to start the year. Mm-hmm. By hook or by crook, a game that, by the way, Minnesota missed a field goal at the gun that they would have won that game.
And they fired the fireworks off anyway. On the road at Minnesota. You remember that the fireworks went off? That was long ago. Just want to remind everybody. Yeah.
At Minnesota, Charlotte, NC Central, at Virginia, at Florida State, Wake Forest, at Boston College, NC State. Maybe NC State by this point in the year, but that is a soft set of ACC wins if they were to get there. Like Virginia, Florida State, Wake, Boston College. Man. It's almost like the ACC tried to set up North Carolina to win a bunch of games, which is unprecedented and unheard of. That would never happen. But this time it seems like it might have.
Man. I will say that James Madison loss is starting to look like the aberration, isn't it?
I mean, is it? Like, I don't know.
Giving up 70 to a Sun Belt team is looking like the aberration. You know?
I mean, where does James Madison rank in teams that Carolina has played? Like, that's probably top 5 of the 12 teams, right? Like, that's one of the better teams that Carolina's played this year.
Okay, are they in top half of the schedule? Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
Like,
But if they played again tomorrow on a neutral, are they giving up 70 to James Madison? No, they're not giving up 70 again, right? That's my point. That's
not again.
Giving up 70 looks like an aberration. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
True. Giving
not
up
flat
53
out losing.
points before halftime. Yeah.
Right. Not flat out losing. That game was like 53-14 at half or something like that.
Yeah.
No, not flat out losing. That's not what I mean. They could lose to James Madison again. I meant like giving up 70 is looking like the aberration. Because while Carolina's defense hasn't been phenomenal, it's been okay. It hasn't been like a downright total ass North Carolina defense like we've seen lately. It's been okay.
Yeah, bit of a roller coaster, but
yeah,
not awful,
not fantastic, but mediocre.
Sure, yeah, that's fair. I'll give him that.
Decidedly mediocre. Yeah, it is. I have a question: Is Mac Brown retiring? Because I'm not sure he's going to have to.
He needs to. He needs to, man. And it's. I just. This program has gotten worse year over year for a couple years now, and I feel like that's going to continue, not through necessarily any of his fault as much as just it is easier every year to recruit against a guy who, he's going to retire soon. You just got to do it. You just got to do it, and it's hard to let go, but at some point, man, like it's got to be over. Like and just. This program, at some point, too, if you're North Carolina, you got to realize this isn't getting better while he's here. Like it's been fun, it's been good, but I think you gotta do it.
Also related to this game, I have a friendly wager for you.
Do you?
I do. Friendly wager. I am going to take a bet that the first head coach in this game to exit his current role will be Dave Clawson, not Mac Brown.
Ooh. Interesting.
I have
that feels like an even odds wager. Like
I have no inside information. I'm just telling you that's a thought that I have. This isn't like a Pat 40 told me thing. This is not one of those. This is a gut feeling thing that it would not shock me if Wake Forest opened before Carolina did. That would not shock me.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's like an even odds wager, just like a pick 'em. I could see either of them, both of them, neither of them being gone after this year, after next year. Like we've talked a good amount about Dave Clawson, and it's a different situation where highly respected guy. I don't think Wake will ever fire him. There's basically nothing that he could ever do.
No,
it's
not
just
firing. No.
At what point does he get fed up and say, I don't need this anymore? As it seems like a number of coaches have done. Tony Bennett, Virginia basketball coach, just did that like a month ago, right? Like you're seeing this across multiple sports and high profile guys. It's on the table. On the table.
Yep.
Sure. I'll take that wager. Sure, I'll take Mac Brown goes first.
All right.
Are we doing this like by the day or by the season? Like, if they both leave on, sometime mid-December, is it a tie or is it?
It's a push.
Okay, fair.
It's a push. I mean, we can't have our bet leaning on the backs of college PR departments. That would be
press
disgusting.
releases.
Yeah, that's. We need Scott for the hotline bling sound is what we need. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of needing Scott for sounds,
How about that for a little transition?
We're good at this. Do you want to give your like little rap air horn sound, or should I? I'll allow
How's that? Okay, thank you. Producer's pick of the week is from this game, the final game.
Mm-hmm.
I know that people were wondering if they were going to get a producer's pick of the week when Scott couldn't join us this evening. I have to ask you, does the bear shit in the woods? Of course. Of course you're getting a producer's pick of the week. It's coming in the final game of the night. This is disgusting. This is gross. I mean, Scott has bet on multiple Stanford games this year in the producer's pick of the week, and this is bad even for Scott.
Yeah.
Scott is betting producer's pick of the week under 63.5.
Takes guts to bet under in a UNC Wake game, honestly.
Could not be me, but more power to him.
Yeah. All yours, Scott.
The one thing I do appreciate about Scott's this new segment, the producer's pick of the week bets that we're doing. The one thing I appreciate about this from Scott is that he does not shy away from picking the most disgusting bet possible on the slate for that given week, and then just giving it a whirl. And he's now done that in a few weeks, and took a week off last week because he hit the same bet I did on that NC State game, that under. But this one is gross.
I was gonna say, like, as sick as some of these bets have been, our guy's 2-1 on the year. So, like,
he is.
I mean,
can't argue with results, man.
That's right. It's working. But I'm kind of with you. Like, if I was gonna pick a total in this game, it's probably the over. So
yeah. I'm staying off of it, but I would probably lean over here.
Then again, I will point out that real Punkcast listeners will know that Tom Fornelli has been tracking totals this year, and when the number gets to 63.5 or higher, the under is hitting at a very high clip. And I forget what the number is for the over. I think it's like 41 or something in the 40s is overs are hitting at a very high clip. So there's a lot to do with that, is like the new rules with timeouts, and it kind of reduces the number of possessions, but also enables teams to score more effectively when they do get to end of half situations. So there's some method to the madness, but you see a number like this, Scott is correct by the system to just blindly take the under, because that has gone very well in games this year.
Like James Harden once said, I am the system. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Mike, anything else before we
no
work on anything else?
Nothing else. Oh, wait. Well, I guess one thing, some show stuff, news.
Mm-hmm.
I am going on vacation.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going on vacation.
Well deserved.
I will not. Thank you. I will not be on. Thank you, Joey. I will not be on the. I will not be on the recap this week, or the preview next week. I will be back on the Week 13 recap a week from Saturday. Oh well, if you do it Sunday, if we do it Sunday, I'll be back. If you do a live show Saturday night, I will not be.
I suspect we'll
do
Week
Sunday. 13. So I will be back for the Week 13 recap, but I am going to miss the next two shows. That does not mean you won't be getting picks from me, because that's not how I roll. who will be hosting with Joey, it's TBD. It might just be Scott filling in. Maybe Cam comes back. Maybe Dan Rubin. Who knows?
Hey, Cam. Hey, Dan.
Dan, Cam, both. Huh?
Is Connor O'Neill listening?
Connor O'Neill? Connor, what's up, dude? You got anything going on?
Never know.
Will Qualkenbush for a late night recording? You know?
What does that look like? I don't know.
What is that like? Yeah.
I've never talked to him in the,
73,
like,
get
the
on the horse.
afternoon, much less the evening.
And he's got a newborn. That would be an upset. That would be the upset.
There you go. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Schedule should remain about the same. It'll be Saturday night. It'll be next Wednesday, most likely, as we've been doing. Keep an eye out Saturday night if we're recording and we're not waiting on anyone to finish shifts on the news desk or anything. It might be a little bit of an earlier start. Might get started before midnight Eastern, but time will tell. We'll see. Keep an eye
okay.
out.
I see. I see. Huh?
I just
Scott did say in our text thread this afternoon, he said, well, one benefit, if you want to call it that, of Mike not being on the recap is that we can start before midnight. True. That's true. My cross to bear,
These are facts. Yeah. No, I mean, there's a reason that I still choose to stay up late to do this, is because we have fun with it, and it's good to do it the night of and all that. So I'm not trying to be critical, just trying to make light of the facts of our situation.
Right. That's exactly right.
There you go. So, yeah, keep it tuned here. We're going to come back, recap these games on Saturday, and keep you previewed and all that moving forward. But as mentioned, Mike is going to miss probably the next couple shows. And then, we'll probably just do Sunday night and let you be back and do it the easy way that way. But, we'll let you know if something changes there here in the next couple weeks. Mike, recap of our locks?
Yeah, let's do it. Joey has locked up Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
minus 23. He's locked up North Carolina minus the 11.5. I have locked up the under in Syracuse Cal. I have locked up Notre Dame minus 23, and I have locked up North Carolina as well minus 11.5. Mm-hmm. We have two double barrel locks, both the Notre Dame and the North Carolina spread. Scott's producer's pick of the week, like we mentioned, Wake, UNC, under 63.5. Joey, are you jumping back into that Clemson-Pittsburgh game? You jumping in on that?
You're on three things. You're on three things. I guess I have to as well. So, yeah, give me under 54.5 locked up in Clemson and Pittsburgh.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Please.
That's definitely one of those Vegas who the hell knows numbers. So I get what I get when I lock that game up, but we'll see how it goes.
Better you than me.
That's fair. Mike, that's all I got. Anything else? You want to get out of here, go watch some games?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. We're gonna get out of here, go watch some games, come back, recap them. In the meantime, we're on Twitter at FTRSJoey, at Mike McDaniel SI, together at BC Podcast ACC, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you go find your podcast, go find us there on the audio version, or most importantly, YouTube.com/at the ACC Football Podcast. As a reminder, please, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the bell icon. We would really appreciate your support that way. And the bell icon especially tells you when we're going to go live next. So you can come join us in the chat. Like a lot of the folks that were here tonight, we had a lot of fun with them. So thank you to the folks that joined us here tonight. Mike, they can send us an email, basketballconferencepodcast@gmail.com.
Nailed it.
Thank you. You want to tell them where they can find us on social medias?
Facebook.com/basketball conference rate review. Find most of our podcasts there.
Insta.
YouTube, Insta. Yep. YouTube. Please subscribe. 550 by the end of the month is what we're trying to accomplish. I felt like when I said please subscribe there, I felt like Jeb Bush when he did the please clap thing in 2016. That's kind of what I envisioned in my head after I said that, like the way I enunciate that. No, but seriously, subscribe to the show, please. Yep.
Super helpful for us. Jack your parents' phones, jack your significant other's phones, and Yeah, just hit that button, subscribe. That's all we need. We'd appreciate that.
Yep.
So careful, Mike. Careful. I saw that face you made there.
Didn't say a word.
Didn't have to. Anything
Correct.
else?
I did not have to. No. Good. We can hit end stream before I get us in trouble.
Let's do that. Always a good idea. All right.
Yeah.
For that guy, Mr. Mike McDaniel, I'm Joey Weaver. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Enjoy the games. Until next time, go ACC.